Hello and welcome to Brand Your Passion, the show that helps you turn the thing you love the most into something that people know and love you for. I'm your host, Holly Arnett, the brand coach for creatives, and I'm on a mission to make the world a more creative place, one brand at a time. If you're ready to get more eyes on your work, more dollars in your pocket, and more creativity in your life, you're in the right place. Welcome. Let's brand your passion. And welcome back to this week's episode of Brand Your Passion. I am super excited today because I'm joined by the wonderful Monique Floyd, also known as King Moe. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here, coming to you live from the States. Y'all don't talk about me too much. I don't want to be here either. So
just pretend you're over here in New Zealand with me.
Oh, I would love it.
Yeah.
Next week I'll be there.
So welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. Do you want to introduce yourself a little bit and tell the listeners what you do?
Sure. I will gladly introduce myself. I am Monique Floyd, aka King Moe. I started my career as a personal branding, my entrepreneurial career as a personal branding photographer, specifically for women. Full service hair, makeup, wardrobe, stories, location, everything. I got you covered. I've recently, due to COVID, transitioned to offering online courses. I have a best-selling course in a movement called Your Selfie. It's all about amplifying your beauty, your voice, taking up space, building your confidence, and putting yourself out there to represent your business, your brand, or just yourself. Your selfie.
Yeah.
So that's me in a nutshell, but it's so much more to it, but I'll just get y'all there right
now. We'll get to all the other good bits. That's fine. That's awesome. And I definitely want to talk to you about your Love Your Selfie movement and your course and how you transitioned through all of that. But first you want to tell me, how did you get into photography and being a creative in that sense? Have you always been creative? What does that journey kind of look like?
So I'm an only child, number one. So my imagination is like on steroids. Has been. I've always been a creative. I'm super right-brained, even though I can function left-brained. I left that world years ago, though. But yeah, I started taking pictures. I was always the kid with the camera growing up.
Yeah.
Even worked in a store that developed film in my teen years. And so I've been doing styled shoots with hair, makeup, wardrobe since I was a teenager.
Wow.
But I didn't have clients. I had little cousins that I basically bullied into being my clients, being my muses. And then I would do their makeup. I would do their hair. Now, granted, I was maybe 14. They might have been 7 or 8. Whatever works. And I would take their picture. I would style the shoot. I would do everything, style the shoot, take them outside, do a photo shoot. But for me, that was something that I did for fun. I never thought about doing it for a career. Never thought about, it was just not something that was ever talked about. It's like you go to college, you get the job, the house, the marriage, all those things. Mm-hmm. That's the route that I took. But in my 30s, I woke up and decided that, that stuff doesn't make me happy. That stuff doesn't fill me up. I need to get back to my creativity, back to the right side of my brain. Yeah.
Amazing. And so what did that kind of look like starting to turn it into a business? Did you literally just wake up one day and you were like, okay, screw this?
Close.
Yeah.
Almost. That's kind of how I roll, but not quite. So I have been in the nuclear engineering world for almost 14 years.
Wow.
As a piping designer for science projects for the government.
Oh my gosh.
I worked on science projects for the government, like serious science projects for global projects that the government worked on.
Mm-hmm.
And I got furloughed in 2013.
Mm-hmm.
One of the happiest days of my life. I was already shooting. I actually had my camera at work with me that day.
Yeah.
And I had been outside shooting rose bushes in the front of the building. Came inside. I had a voicemail, and it was HR. They asked me to come upstairs. I knew what it was because they had been doing layoffs and furloughs for a while. So I got caught in the last round or close to the last round. They asked me to come upstairs. I walked upstairs. They gave me my pink slip. I shook their hand. I thanked them. I went and got my shit, and I ain't never looked back.
Amazing.
I was already shooting on the side. I was already doing it as a hobby. And so I just basically made up my mind, made the decision that I was not going back to corporate, that this was like my out. This was like the gift that they had gave me. And I never looked back. Now, granted, I didn't know what I was doing. I could take pictures, do makeup style shoots, the business side of it. I had a lot to learn, a whole lot to learn.
Well, I totally understand that. When I started my business, I quit because it was like a terrible environment. And I was like, nope, not doing this anymore. So I quit, and I had no idea what I was doing business wise either.
You learn as you go.
Yeah. You take the leap and then you figure out how to walk.
And the parachute opens, or maybe it doesn't, but you know, most of the time it does.
Yeah. Awesome. And so when you first started that business, how did you start that? And did you do any like branding work for yourself at the beginning, or did you just kind of start shooting, start charging people? Tell me about that.
I'm thinking back. So when I first started, I actually had took workshops with different photographers. Well, one specific photographer. I thought I wanted to do weddings. Realized that was not my thing. I did a couple weddings. I'm like, no, this ain't it. No. And then so I invited my cousin up. Look, back to the cousins, older cousin, invited her over. And I was like, just have some fun with me. Let me do your makeup. Let me dress you up. And that's how it started. A dress up session with another cousin, again, 30 years later, basically. 30 years later.
Yeah.
And that sparked something in me. It was the back and forth that her and I had, seeing her light up the way that and then her seeing me light up. So I knew I wanted to work with women. From that point on, I knew I wanted to work with women and be a part of their just ownership and empowerment process.
Yeah.
So that's how I branded myself as a beauty photographer for women initially. And then years later, I incorporated personal branding. I basically applied that same formula to my personal branding work, dug a little deeper with their business, their audience, all that kind of stuff, and just kind of roll with it from there. My brand is still evolving because I'm still evolving.
Yeah.
So as I evolve, as I level up, as I transform, so does my brand. I got stuck for a while a couple of years ago because I was growing, but my brand wasn't. And I just felt stuck and boxed in. But I finally got past that now.
Nice. Good. And how did you do that? What got you through the feeling stuck?
Embracing more of myself. I realized that I had branded myself in a box.
Yeah.
I branded myself in a box that was only a small part of who I am, small part of my personality. So I felt restricted whenever I wanted to express myself any other kind of way.
Yeah.
So I took a full year off in 2019 just to get an alignment, get clarity on what I wanted to do, not what I should be doing or how I should be branding myself, but what I actually wanted to do, what I wanted to stand for.
Yeah.
And when I wanted to post, what that looked like for me. And here we have it.
And now you've come back with a vengeance.
Back with a vengeance. Like, I've been King Moe for years and years and years and years, but I had a whole nother page just for King Moe and her shit. Like, whole nother page.
Yeah.
Because I didn't think my audience was ready for King Moe, and I have been cautioned against showing King Moe to my audience by a coach.
Really?
She actually cautioned, And it didn't sound right. It didn't feel right. And I straddled the fence with that for a while. And then I remember thinking, I'm not about to be two people. I just have to be myself.
Yeah.
And so I incorporated King Moe into my branding, and things just took off from there.
Yeah.
So being more of yourself, being more of myself actually helped me reach more people.
Yeah. I love that so much. Yeah. And I love that that's what's, obviously made you feel more confident, given you the confidence in moving your business forward. But I'm sure it's also brought in more people who just want to work with you as who you are.
Most definitely, that connection is there. So when people work with me one-on-one before I let all that other stuff go, they got me. and they were always kind of surprised to get me versus what I would put out online. So when you work with me one-on-one, you got all of King Moe, and they would just love it.
Yeah.
But online, it was very polished, very proper, very not me. I'm only polished and proper like this much of the time. It's that.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. And so I think it's important, is like, I always teach that you want the brand experience to be consistent, right? So if somebody,
consistent, how can it be consistent if you're only being yourself part of the time? You got to pretend the rest of the time. No.
So I'm sure it was like quite, like you said, surprising for people to see you online and then meet you in person and realize these are completely different people. And so now it's like, oh, well, I know who King Moe is. I've seen all that online and I love it. And then I just want more of it in person.
And I tell everybody that. And the crazy thing was, I was doing the opposite thing that I was telling my client for years.
Right.
I told my client, just be all of yourself. I want to put all of you, all of your emotion, all these things. But if just like a lot of people that are in the service industry, what you do for your clients, you don't necessarily do for yourself. So that was my issue. So finally, I got in alignment with myself and adopted the same thing I have been teaching my clients for years.
You gotta practice what you preach.
That part. And it's worked out amazingly, amazing.
I love it. Amazing. And so on your website at the moment, you describe yourself as plant mother, light manipulator, untamed vibe feeler, big laugher, motivational beer, which is amazing. So how long have you kind of been like just living, all of who you are since you came back after 2019, and how have you been sort of building that reputation as King Moe, who you are?
Well, I've been incorporating me for years into it, but I just always wanted it really polished, kind of black and white, and those things. Not necessarily because I thought that's what I had to do. It's just because, it's just what it was. It's just what it was. Yeah. So I started incorporating King Moe more into my branding over the past year. Wait a minute. Let's go back. This is the podcast ADHD, y'all.
That's cool. We can go back around. Yeah.
Let's go back.
Cool.
Can you ask me a question again?
Ask the question again. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So
I started talking and then I lost it.
So how long have you been now owning that, and how have you been growing that reputation as you?
Okay. Fully owning it in my brand, in my real life forever. Fully owning it online and in my space for 2 years, solid years. But I took a full year off last year, and really incorporating it into what I do and my messaging and the visuals really started in 2020. Because like I said, I had a whole nother page. I was King Moe on a whole nother page. A lot of my clients followed me over there too, but it wasn't my business page. Yeah. So basically I just merged the two. I actually deleted that page, merged the two, and even my following engagement, everything has just grown organically ever since.
Amazing. Yeah. It just shows
organically.
Yeah. Just shows what happens when you do fully own who you are and just lean
fully step into you. I think that's where the magic is. That's where the magic, it really is. So that's what I teach my students in my course. Yeah. And of course, that's what I still teach my clients. That is where the magic, that's what people want to connect with. You.
Yeah, for sure. And so, tell me a little bit about your course. So you said that started because of COVID and, everybody jumping online. Obviously you can't do photo shoots right now. So tell me a bit about the course and where that came from and how it's going.
Well, I have been wanting to transition into the online space for years. I just didn't know how to do it. And I was only thinking I'm a branding photographer. I'm a makeup artist. Those are the only two lanes I gave myself. Yeah. Totally limited myself, totally limited my opportunities. Didn't even realize it. So when COVID hit, it was actually a blessing in disguise. Not to take anything away from all the tragedy and all the loss, But me personally, it was my time to be in the incubator. I was like back in the incubator, because I had already planned to come back 2020 and just go hard for 2020.
Yeah.
Little did I know it would be a total pivot once it started. So the first thing I did, I couldn't work with my clients. So I actually reached out to clients and I started a Facebook group to help them with little projects that they were working on. Since I couldn't photograph them, I could give them tips and tools on how to do some stuff themselves until, we were able to shoot again. So that basically opened the door for me. That was my first course, even though it wasn't a course. It was just a Facebook group. But I was teaching. I was teaching what I knew. And I was helping them do shoots at home. And then I joined the group that I met you in, the We Should All Be Millionaires group. And there was a challenge. There was a challenge in July. It was a 10K in 10 days challenge. And I participated in the challenge. So I polled the group to see, I'm like, I don't know what to do. This will be my first official course. And it was like 300 responses. I mean, I'm exaggerating, but it was so many responses. I was like, I'm a makeup artist. I'm a branding photographer. I'm a growth guy. What could I offer? And somebody posted, if you can help me take a better picture of myself, I would love you, or something like that. It was something along those lines that got me to thinking. And here I am. I take selfies just to take selfies.
Yeah.
Like my best friend has been teasing me for years because I'm always taking selfies. So I perfected the art of taking selfies. Yeah. And as a photographer and a makeup artist with light angles and things like that, I mean, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
So I created the course. I actually sold the idea. I didn't even have the course created when I launched it.
Yeah.
I sold the idea and I filled in all the gaps when the course actually launched. And when I tell you this thing grew wings and feet and everything else, it just went crazy. Amazing. I had students in my course from all over the world.
Yeah.
All over the world. My first official course. And I'm just riding this wave. I'm teaching these women. I'm seeing them glow up and gain confidence and put themselves out there and step into their visibility and their voice. It is life-changing. That is why it's a movement. It's so much more than a selfie. I tell everybody, it's not about being vain. It's not about like showing out. It's about showing up. Yeah. Showing up for you, showing up for your community, showing up for your business, your brand, like those types of things. And the transformation that I saw in the women in my group left me in tears multiple days.
Yeah, wow.
Like tears, like them good cry, like happy tears.
Yeah.
Happy tears.
That's amazing.
It's amazing. It's also a way for me to continue to live my mission. Yeah. Just in a different way, amplifying voices and beauties and brand and helping women take ownership and really step into their power. Yeah. Like that's my thing, step into their power and giving them permission to be all of themselves when the world tells them not to be. Like that's what I'm here for.
Yeah, I love that. And amazing that that's like what you were kind of doing anyway. That was what you were doing with your brand photography, right? But now you're just doing the same thing, but with a completely different product or service, which I think that's so amazing about when we know what our purpose is in life and like what we're trying to do. It doesn't matter how we do that or what product or service we do. It's just comes through in everything that we're going to do.
Yeah, it does. And that's the thing. Like I told somebody in my course, like no matter what I do, I get the same reaction and the same results because like you said, it comes through in everything that I do. I'm always here for the woman. I'm always here to help her with her voice, to help her find her voice and her visibility. Like this is who I am. I've always been this way since a child.
Yeah. And it always will be, right? I'm sure if you start another course or you do another program or you completely change what you're doing, it'll still be about that same mission.
That'll be the thread that connects everything.
Yeah, for sure. So how has that transition been on your end from being a brand photographer to being now a course creator and how's that affected your brand and how's that growing?
It has helped me gain clarity and momentum all at the same time.
Amazing.
It has been phenomenal for me. This experience, this all happened since July.
Yeah, wow.
July. And I'm already on my second launch, and I'm creating courses and creating community. So
Yeah.
it's been an amazing experience for me personally and business wise.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still I'm in the States,
Mm-hmm.
so we have social distancing, so I can
Yeah.
still shoot and style the shoots and just shoot from a distance.
Yeah.
But what I love about being a course creator and having content online is I can be anywhere in the world. I don't have to be in one place.
Yeah.
So with that said, I decided on a whim to move to Mexico for almost 2 months, starting in November.
Wow.
So now I can be anywhere in the world and still make money and still help and still serve.
Yeah.
I don't have to be, I'm not location dependent anymore. That has been a goal of mine forever, and now it's here.
That's amazing. I love that. And so, you said that, this course launch all came out of doing the challenge in We Should All Be
Mm-hmm.
Millionaires, which, if you're listening and you're not sure, is a community run by Rachel Rogers. It's all about helping women become millionaires.
Yep, 7 figures.
Yeah, we are getting there. And so tell me a little bit about, like, obviously that's been kickstarted so much for you. So I am a huge believer in, like, community and having other
Yes.
creatives around you to encourage you, and people gave you that, like, helped you come up with that idea. So yeah, what are your thoughts on, like, creative community and how that's kind of helped you where you are now, I guess?
I will say this. I didn't have community for probably the first couple of years of my entrepreneurial journey, and I've been full-time self-employed for 7 years now.
Yeah.
7 years. I did not have community in the beginning. I was doing it. I was completely a solopreneur. When community got introduced into my life, things just changed. Things opened up. It was like I had someone to bounce ideas off of.
Mhm.
I had someone that was in this with me. I had someone that I could get inspiration. I had people that I can get inspiration from and knowledge from.
Yeah.
My first day in the group, in the group that we're in, was life changing for me. I saw
Yeah.
people making $50,000 to $100,000 a month.
Yeah.
Like, not to say that I didn't know that was possible. I didn't know it was that accessible, like
Yeah.
that close, and then telling us how they did it.
Yeah.
Like, in that
Unreal.
thing. So, yeah, super unreal. So it's not just a matter of, creating the community and creating the connections. I also experienced a mindset shift. I have been
Yeah.
working on mindset for years and years and years, but it's a different thing to be in that environment, to be immersed in it. You just grow.
Yeah.
You just grow. So I actually did a live story on Instagram, and I was like, look, if you're an entrepreneur, you don't even have to be an entrepreneur. If you're a human, you need that like-minded connection.
Yeah.
Those people that pull the best out of you, and that pour into you and pull out, and vice versa.
Mhm.
And that's what I have found. And it's just been almost magical.
Yeah.
It's just been magical. It was the right time, the right group, the right people, and I'm so grateful for it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, people say that you become like the five people who are closest around you, right?
Yep.
And that's what I found about We Should All Be Millionaires. This is not like a hype podcast to promote We Should All Be
Right.
Millionaires,
I feel like Rachel's gonna owe us some money because we plugging her.
but also highly encourage that you do join the club. But when I joined, I was like, I will pay any amount of money just to be around people who know and believe that making $1 million a month, which Rachel did,
She
is
did.
possible. Like, just to
It's
be
possible, and
around
it's
those
okay.
people. Yeah. And
Yeah,
it's
it's because, like, when I speak my big dreams to some people, I've had to learn that everybody doesn't get to hear my dreams.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when I speak my big dreams to people, it can come off selfish,
Mm-hmm.
or it can come off as indulgent. It comes off all different ways depending on where that person is in their journey.
Yeah.
In this group, there's never a problem with that.
In fact, they'll probably encourage you to dream bigger.
Even bigger. That's how I ended up in Mexico.
Yep.
Like, I'm seeing these ladies work from all over the world and travel and work. I'm like, I've been wanting to do this for years.
Yeah.
Never pulled the plug, never been in a position to do so. And within a couple of months, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
The same thing. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Heck yes. Not only possible, doable, and gonna happen. That's
Mhm,
the
mhm,
yeah. I
100%.
love that. Um, okay, so tell me a little bit about we'll just switch topics a little bit. Yeah. But so you are obviously a kind of branding expert yourself. You have built your own brands, but you also help women to build their brands and, like you said, step into their power through photography, whether that's you doing that photography or teaching them how to do it themselves. So why do you think that branding is so important, and in particular why photography is important as a part of that experience?
So the first part, I have to repeat the question so I remember them when you asked two-parters.
Sorry. We can just do part one. Why is branding
Uh,
important? Yeah.
so for me, branding is important. Before we get to the visual part, it's just important because it's the vibe, it's the feel. And as my strategy coach says, it's what people say about you when you're not around,
Yeah.
when you're not controlling the narrative,
Yeah.
you know, that part of it. So to me, it's important to not only put that out there, to show that, to paint that picture for people,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you're newer on the scene or if you're pivoting or rebranding or whatever. It's really important to get your messaging out there
Yeah.
in an authentic way. We're not doing the shoulds, we're not doing the fake stuff, we're not doing the patriarchal stuff
Nope. Mm.
that can connect you with your audience, with your community, and with potential clients. You know,
Mhm.
because you started your business because it was your passion and it's your purpose, but you also want to monetize it and make some money.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
so you need to be, people need to see you and they need to know your services
Yeah.
and what you offer and how you serve, you know?
Yeah.
So today, I think sometimes the word brand gets used so much,
Mm.
maybe a little too much. Um, so, so, um, but it's still very important and very valuable how you want to present yourself to
Mhm.
your people, you know? And of
Yeah.
course, I encourage you to show up as much of yourself as possible.
Yeah, for sure. And so how do you feel about photography as a part of that? Brand photography, why is that so important?
To me, photography is super important because it connects your voice with the visuals.
Mm.
Like, and to me, like that is the magic combination, your visuals and your voices. You can have all the copywriting,
Mhm.
you can have all the awesome products, but if your photography is trash, that is what people are going to equate your brand to.
Yeah.
So I were you, I would invest, maybe not pay me, but I would invest in a dedicated branding, personal branding photographer.
Mhm.
Someone that maybe shoots weddings and children and families and events. Probably isn't going to be the person to bring your brand vision to life. Now
Yeah.
they could be,
Mm.
but more than likely, I feel like you should hire someone that's their specialty.
Yeah.
Like that is what they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the lane that they own.
Yeah, definitely. You want an expert who can know, like you said, like look into what your voice is and what story you're trying to tell and who
Mhm.
your audience is and all those.
Who your audience is and just your vibe in general. Like for me, I like to get a vibe from my clients.
Yeah.
And I like to recreate those vibes in the stories that we shoot for their photo shoot. Because
Mm.
that way when it's time to post and have a caption, when it's time to put it on their website, it's them. So there's nothing
Yeah.
forced or fake about it
Yeah.
because it's them,
Yeah.
you know?
It just is who they are. Yeah, I'm a massive, believer in that pictures are worth 1,000 words, right? So
Thousands,
if you're
thousands, especially in today's society,
yeah.
when like literally a visual can stop somebody in their tracks or just make
Mhm.
somebody keep scrolling.
Yeah.
So to me, now it's worth more than 1,000 words
Yeah.
in 2020.
Yeah, definitely. People have the shortest attention spans of all
Short.
time. And so they
Mhm.
might not read all the copy on your website, but they might
They
and
see
probably
the
will.
pictures.
Yeah, see those pictures.
They
So
see those pictures, and that's the first thing that grabs them. That big hero image of you.
that's the
Yeah.
one. That's the one you need, a professional
Or
person.
Shiro, I should say. Shiro
Oh,
image
shit.
of
Yeah.
you.
I love it. And so, okay, tell me a little bit about what the best part for you has been about branding your passion and turning the thing you love into a business.
The best part for me is the energy exchange with my clients and the people that I get to interact with and the people that I've got to meet over the years.
Yeah.
Like that part for me, it's emotional.
Mm,
There's a connection there, and I don't know, it just feels good. It's hard to describe.
yeah.
There's satisfaction in what I do. There's this beautiful dance that I do with my clients, whether they're someone that's in my course or someone that's in front of me and I got my camera. There's just this beautiful dance, and it just feels good to know that what I'm doing is contributing to this person's success, their confidence, their life. Just, I don't know, it does something good for my soul and my ego.
Yeah.
all,
Yeah. Just feels
all
good
the
all around.
things.
Yeah.
It does. It just feels really, really good. And the other thing is having my freedom and flexibility to live life on my own terms and do what I want to do
Yeah.
when I want to do. Like that part, being able to hire my clients. Like if their energy is off, probably not a good fit, but I got somebody else for you. Like that kind of thing. Getting to call my own shots, getting to create my own happiness. Just that freedom and that flexibility and that flow. Like, I don't know if I can ever go back and work for somebody again. Not to say that, if things happen, I might have to go back, but having this level of freedom and flexibility to just be as creative as I want to be and what I want to bring to the world and how I want to serve in this world. Like you can't put a price tag on that.
No, I mean, imagine if you had to go through like so much hierarchy and stuff to make your course happen. It might not have ever happened, but you have the freedom. You just said, I want to do this and I'm going to make it happen. And here it is.
That freedom, that as a free bird, I consider myself a free spirit, a free bird. Like I crave that. I require that.
Yeah.
And this provides it.
Yeah. Amazing. Okay, and so if you could give some advice to other creatives who are thinking about branding their own passion, taking their hobby and turning it into something, monetizing that, what would your advice be?
My number one piece of advice is do it in a way that feels good to you. Fuck how it's been done before.
Yes.
Yeah, that part.
Done.
Yeah, period.
Yeah. Amazing. Yeah. That's all we need. Yeah, I love it so much. Amazing. Oh, so good. Okay.
We don't have to make it hard. We make it hard.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Definitely gets overcomplicated and distracting and tempting to do it other ways. But
shiny and all those things. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Just do what you want to do and stick to that. I love it. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me. This has been amazing and so much fun. And I just love everything about what you're doing and how you transitioned, and that I can't wait to see how much your course grows even more. It's already grown so much.
Me too. Like this is me living my purpose and my passion, and it almost brings me to tears daily.
Yeah. That's magic. As you said, magic. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining me. Yeah, this has been awesome, and I can't wait for people to hear this episode. So yeah, thank you very much. Do you want to tell the people where they can find you and what you want to promote?
Yes. So you guys can find me on my website, moniquefloyd.com. I'm currently enrolling for the Love Your Selfie course. This is my second launch. Early bird rate is through sometime this week, y'all. Just go to the website, MoniqueFloyd.com. And you can also follow me on Instagram at reinvention_with_intention, or just look up Monique Floyd. You'll see an awesome picture of me in Paris.
Yeah.
That part.
Amazing. And I'll put all the links in the description and bio and all those things too. So
thank you so much for this. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm honored.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Brand Your Passion and choosing to spend some time with me learning about branding, business, and all things creativity. You can find more episodes just like this one at blackandwhitestudios.nz/brandyourpassion. If you liked this one, you can tap that subscribe button so that you're notified about every new episode. And if you've got a spare second, I would love it if you could leave a review on iTunes or wherever you're listening to this podcast right now. I would love to hear from you and hear about how you're enjoying the podcast. If there were some helpful goodies in this episode for you, it would mean the world to me if you could screenshot your podcast player on your phone right now, hop over to Instagram or Twitter and tag me at Black and White Studios. That's at BLCKWHT Studios. By subscribing and reviewing and sharing, you're helping me to reach more creators just like you so that together we can make the world a more creative place, one brand at a time. I really can't achieve this mission without you, so your support means the world. I'll talk to you in the next episode, but until then, keep creating.